Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to Vanduverse. Today, I am going to tell you a wonderful Panchatantra story about a tiny little mouse who wanted to become powerful. But remember, dear friends, sometimes when we get what we wish for, we may forget who we really are. So, let us begin our magical story. Once upon a time, in a beautiful green forest, there lived a tiny little mouse. The mouse was very small, very quick, and very clever, but he was always afraid. Whenever he saw a cat, he would run and hide. Whenever he heard a dog barking, he would tremble with fear. And whenever he saw a tiger or a lion, he would run as fast as his tiny legs could carry him. One day, the little mouse sat sadly under a tree. He looked at the big animals around him and said, "Oh, why am I so small and weak? I wish I were bigger and stronger. Then nobody would frighten me." Just then, the mouse saw a wise old sage sitting peacefully under a large tree. The sage was kind and powerful. The little mouse thought, "Perhaps the sage can help me." So the mouse slowly walked towards him. "Dear sage," said the mouse, "please help me. I am very small and everyone frightens me. Please make me stronger." The wise sage looked at the little mouse with kindness. He understood that the mouse was afraid. So the sage said, "All right, little one, I will help you." The sage closed his eyes and began to chant a magical spell. Suddenly, a bright golden light surrounded the mouse, and in the blink of an eye, the tiny mouse became a cat. The new cat looked at himself and jumped with joy. "Wow! I am a cat now. I am bigger and stronger." The cat proudly walked through the forest, but suddenly, woof, woof, a big dog came running towards him. The cat became frightened and ran back to the sage. "Oh, sage, please help me. I am afraid of the dog." The sage smiled and said, "Do not worry." Once again, he used his magic. And the cat became a dog. The dog was very happy. "Now I am strong. No dog can frighten me." But just then, a huge tiger appeared. The dog became terrified and ran back to the sage. "Sage, please help me. I am afraid of the tiger." The wise sage looked at the dog. "Very well," he said. He raised his hand. In a flash of golden light, the dog became a mighty tiger. The tiger looked at his powerful claws and sharp teeth. He roared loudly. All the animals in the forest ran away. The tiger felt very proud. "Now I am the strongest animal in the forest." But suddenly, a great lion appeared. The tiger looked at the lion. The lion was bigger, stronger, and more powerful. The tiger became frightened. "No, no, I am afraid of the lion." Once again, the tiger ran back to the sage. "Sage, please make me stronger than the lion." The sage looked at the tiger and said, "Do you really want to become a lion?" "Yes," cried the tiger. "Please make me a lion." The sage closed his eyes. Golden light filled the forest. The tiger began to grow. Bigger and bigger and bigger, his stripes disappeared. A magnificent golden mane appeared around his head. And finally, the tiger became a mighty lion. The whole forest shook, all the animals ran away in fear. The lion looked at his reflection in a pool of water. He smiled proudly. Now I am the strongest animal in the entire forest. The lion walked through the forest like a king. Every animal hid when they saw him. The lion was very happy, but slowly something changed. He became proud, and then he became arrogant. The lion began to forget that he was once a tiny little mouse. He forgot how frightened he had been. He forgot who had helped him. He forgot the kind old sage. One day, the lion thought, I am now the strongest animal in the forest. Nobody can defeat me. Then he remembered the sage. The lion became angry. Why should I listen to that sage? I am stronger than everyone now. So the proud lion marched towards the sage. When he reached the tree, he stood in front of the sage and roared loudly. Roar! The sage opened his eyes calmly. The lion said, look at me. I am the king of the forest now. Everyone is afraid of me. The sage looked at him and asked, do you remember who you were before? The lion laughed. Of course, I was a tiger. The sage shook his head. No. The lion thought for a moment. Then I was a dog. The sage shook his head again. No. The lion became confused. Then I was a cat.
The sage smiled. No. The lion became angry. Then who was I? The sage looked directly into the lion's eyes and said, you were once a tiny little mouse.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
So the lion becomes a mouse again. The lion suddenly became silent. A tiny memory returned to his mind. He remembered sitting under the tree. He remembered being afraid of the cat. He remembered asking the sage for help. He remembered everything. But the lion was still proud. He lifted his head and said, so what? I am a lion now. I am stronger than you. The wise sage sadly shook his head. Strength without wisdom is dangerous. Then the sage raised his hand.
A bright light surrounded the lion. The lion began to shrink. Smaller and smaller and smaller. His golden mane disappeared. His huge paws became tiny. His mighty roar became a tiny squeak. And in just a moment, the mighty lion had become a tiny mouse again. Squeak, squeak. The little mouse looked at the sage. He was ashamed. Dear sage, he said, please forgive me. You helped me when I was weak, but I became proud and forgot you. The sage smiled kindly. I forgive you, he said, but remember this lesson forever. A change in your appearance does not change who you truly are. Power should make you humble, not arrogant, and you should always be grateful to those who helped you. The little mouse lowered his head. I understand now, he said. From that day on, the little mouse was happy to be himself. He no longer wished to become someone else. He was grateful for what he had, and he never forgot the wise sage who had helped him. La 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 la. So, my dear friends, la, 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 la. What can we learn from this wonderful story? La, 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 la. Never become proud because of your strength, wealth, beauty, or power. And most importantly, never forget the people who helped you when you needed them. Because a proud heart can make even the strongest person weak. But a humble and person truly great. Thank you for listening to this wonderful Panchatantra story. If you enjoyed the story, please like the video, subscribe to Vanduverse, and come back for more magical stories, wonderful adventures, and valuable lessons. This is Vandu saying be kind, be humble, and always be grateful. Bye-bye!